is today's CFAX 1070 news poll. What is your shopping bag preference? Plastic, paper, or cloth reusable? To vote, go to our website at cfax1070.com.
Now, Straight Talk. Murray Langdon on CFAX 1070.
Stephen Andrew from Vancouver Island with you this morning here on CFAX 1070. By the way, just a note, Murray's going to be back with you on Monday at 9 o'clock. And tomorrow, Eric Thompson, my colleague from A News, will be in hosting the program. I am sitting pretty close to the 26th, I guess, fittest man in the world, according to the Reebok 2011 Games. Lucas Parker joins us in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning, Stephen.
So you are the 26th most fittest individual in the world, is that right? Man in the world?
That's what they say, yeah. We just got back a few weeks ago from California, where they hold the Reebok CrossFit Games. Reebok is the newest partner. They've brought a lot of stuff to the table, including a bigger purse. So what that's done is it's brought some pretty good athletic talent. CrossFit claims to be the test for the fittest man and woman on the planet, simply because if you look at other tests, like, say, triathlon, where, yes, you're testing three skills: swimming, biking, and running. You're primarily seeing who has the best stamina and endurance, and to some degree skill. But CrossFit outlines 10 elements of fitness. They say you've got strength, speed, power, stamina, endurance, coordination, agility, balance, accuracy, and flexibility. And if you're lacking in any one of those areas, you're not quite as fit as you could be. So CrossFit tries to test all of those things, and so far this year we feel they've done a pretty good job. So I think we have legitimate right to say that it's sort of the best test out there for fitness.
You are pretty young.
Pretty young.
How old?
I just turned 22, actually, a few days ago.
And how long have you been at this?
I've been specifically competing in CrossFit, I guess you could say, just for the last couple of years. I've been aware of it for about a year before that, and then I sort of found my way into it. And
what was it that drew you to this? I mean, this goal, this quest to, couch potatoes like myself. I mean, it's not something that you want to rush into, but what is it that really kind of excited you and wanted you to go down this path? It's,
I guess I sort of am, like you say, on a quest to sort of test myself. And, apart from signing up for the Navy SEALs and going to, fight commando warfare, I think maybe not brave enough to go do that, but I think something like CrossFit, where you are testing yourself in a whole crazy way and all these different skills that I'll tell you about in a minute, is sort of the ultimate kind of physical, at least, and to some degree mental test of a human being in their human animal capacity.
Obviously, it's not only developed you physically, but obviously, I'm not going to say intellectually, but your spirit has developed through this course. Is that a very this journey that you've been going on? Would that be a fair statement?
I think that would be a fair statement. Again, I mean, there's a lot of intangibles there. How do you define spirit, and how do you gauge the ebb and flow of your spirit through the years? But I think this has given me some purpose. I guess you could say that. Because I am fairly committed to it, and besides the competitive aspect of it, I'm committed to the, I guess you could say, the social aspect of it, or the instructional aspect of it, where I'm teaching other people how to do this. And
you said to me on the phone when we were booking the interview, which really kind of stuck in my mind. Anytime anybody mentions this word, actually, it gets me going, because I get very excited about it. You say it's not just about the competition; it's about community.
Right.
And that to me shows good spirit.
I suppose so. And that is really half, if not more, of what CrossFit is, right? CrossFit, it is the workouts, it is the gym, it is the science behind the programming. But the other half of it that you don't really see until you spend a couple weeks in the gym is that CrossFit it's a community, it's a family. As soon as you walk in the door of a CrossFit gym, you're among friends, because everyone's there doing the same workout, albeit scaled to your ability, and you're all there for pretty much the same reasons. And you know that the guy beside you's not quitting, or the girl beside you's not quitting, so you can't quit. And that camaraderie really helps build the intensity, which at the end of the day drives the results.
You also said, I want to get the everyday desk-bound person and get them fit again. It's what I like to do.
That's
How
right.
do you do that? What do you do? Walk into, well, let's take, here's Corey. Let's get Corey fit right now. We could
Sounds
do it.
good, Corey.
You know, I mean, you know, how do you get him up from his behind his computer, where he plays on his cell phone and
Sure.
and it's my lot in life, Corey, to
get me in shape.
to get you in shape, and you know, he is you know, doing Facebook and spending his time, and you know,
Sure.
we each mowed down on a donut this morning. That was our breakfast. How do you pull him away from that? I mean, because that doesn't sound like someone that's motivated, and I'm including myself in this, by the way, just so you know.
Giving him the nails here. You know, it's tough. The motivation does have to come from within you. I mean, we can be sort of the slave driver for a short while, but if someone is not truly interested in improving themselves as a Homo sapien, right? I mean, because we exist in I like to think of two realms, right? We have our physical existence and our intellectual existence, and most of us spend our entire lives developing and enjoying our intellectual existence, and there's nothing wrong with that. That can come in the form of, you know, reading poetry, learning music, enjoying a funny show on TV, anything like that. But then there's this whole physical realm of existence that very few of us actually venture into and develop to the best of our abilities. And I'll tell people, hey, imagine if you had started, it seems daunting, sure, it seems intimidating. Imagine if you had started this a year ago, where you'd be now. And say, okay, well, you might as well start now. Imagine where you'll be in a year, because it can seem like, oh, I don't know where to begin, I don't know what to do, but, you know, just get started and you'll be on the path.
Okay, CP, what's your take on it? Like, no, seriously, I mean, does it to you? I mean, it's always been intimidating to me, and back in 2006, I made that jump off and I started doing it, and because then hit the wall for a bit. But I mean, you know, to me, it was like the goal seemed so far off. I personally, I didn't like being overweight. I didn't like being unhealthy, and well, is it something? I mean, do we walk through life? I mean, do you say to yourself, "Yeah, I can't. I don't have the time. I can't do it." I don't know. I'm just trying to think.
You know what it is? It's one of those things. Exercise for me, and I'm gonna be totally honest here. All day long, I can think I'm gonna go for a run tonight. I'm going to do it. And then I get home and I've had dinner and I'm like, nah, I'd rather just play my Xbox, right?
Very fair.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I'm
bet you see
Xbox
that.
fan as well. I'm a fan of the Xbox. I am a big Halo 3 player. I like the Call of Duty. But I also like, you know, playing around with gymnastic skills and working on weightlifting and running and rowing and all these other sort of fun things. And I think what a lot of people get wrapped up in sort of it's been making leaps and bounds over the past, I guess you could say, a decade. But the general sort of, you know, fitness, the structure to people's idea of what fitness is. Oh, you know, I go to the gym, I spend 20 minutes on the treadmill, I do some bicep curls, and I go home. And they slap their head and they wonder why they're not getting better. Well, it's because they're not really challenging themselves. They're not really stepping outside their comfort zone. And at the end of the day, that's how you stimulate adaptation, is you put yourself in an uncomfortable situation and you say, hey, get used to it. And that's sort of what CrossFit is, right? The catchphrase we use is constantly varied, functional movement performed at high intensity. And what that means is we're doing all sorts of different skills. We're doing real-world skills, right, functional movements, and we're doing it at high intensity. And that is sort of what that's the steroids without steroids, right? It's really what gives you the shot in the bum.
And I think, you know, in this day and age, we all like immediate gratification, right? I mean, we're in that situation where we say to ourselves, I want to, you know, okay, I want to lose the weight, and is there a pill I can take that's going to get that off? And I'm wondering if that's part of our challenge. We're lazy. We don't want to work for it.
Yeah, essentially, you hit the nail on the head. It's you know, people value they evaluate things based on that immediate benefit. Oh, what's this going to do for me right now? What's this going to do for me right now? If I go for, you know, a half-hour CrossFit workout, well, that's going to make me pretty sore and tired right now, so I don't really want to do that. But if then I say, okay, well, a week down the road after a few of these workouts, a month down the road after a few weeks of these workouts, a couple years down the road after months of these workouts, well, I'm going to be much better off than when I started. And people don't have that long range. Well, not everybody, but some people don't have that long range.
I'm thinking of
forecasting.
a challenge coming on here. Actually, I'm going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk more.
Whoever said getting there was half the fun never drove the Malahat on a Friday afternoon. More traffic, more often. If it's happening, it's here. Victoria's News Authority, CFAX 1070.
Are BC's wild salmon important to you? The public can and should attend the Cohen Commission hearings from August 22nd through September 8th. Alexandra Morton will be testifying about salmon disease tied to fish farming. What will muzzled DFO scientist Dr. Christy Miller say when Ottawa's cone of silence over her is lifted? Learn more at salmonaresacred.org or attend the Wild Salmon Warrior Rally August 30th at the Vancouver Art Gallery. A message from the Salmon Are Sacred People's Movement.
The moment you step in the door, you're actually glad to be at work. Monday morning never smelled so good. Fresh roasted, fresh brewed, level ground, fair trade coffee at work. Sometimes the simplest things bring the most joy.
Level ground coffee. Level ground coffee. Level ground coffee.
Want happy, productive workers? Call Level Ground Fair Trade Coffee and brew up some real employee satisfaction today. Level Ground at work.
What a perk.
Ow! Sharon, I can't go to your sister's wedding happening today.
What? Why?
I've shattered my pelvis on your Elvis figurines, and the porcelain is lodged deep inside my knee. I'm trapped on the couch and forced to watch TV, so wish your sister my best and enjoy the ceremony. Have a good time staying here. Bye.
Dressing it up doesn't make it true. Advertising Standards Canada helps protect Canadians from false messaging and advertising. After all, truth matters. Visit adstandards.ca.
Pain. It pounds. It radiates. It squeezes. It tears. Sometimes it seems to last forever. But what if you could stop it? The Valentis Pain Relief Program in Oak Bay. Online at valentisclinics.com. Call for an appointment, 590-5090. That's 590-5090.
Well, the damage to your pickup is extensive, but repairable. Tell you what, we'll tow it to the place across the street.
No way! It's going to Prancing Horse Quality Assured Collision.
When you want carefree quality collision repair, go with Prancing Horse. They'll work with your insurance company to get your car repaired right. They provide the only guarantee honored at any of the 19 quality assured shops throughout the province. You survived the collision. Now leave your worries to Prancing Horse Quality Assured Collision at 492 Cecilia and PrancingHorseAutobody.ca.
Stephen Andrew with you here on CFAX 1070 from A Vancouver Island News. We are talking with Lucas Parker from the CrossFit Zone here in town. You can reach him at crossfitzone.ca. He is the 26th fittest man in the world, according to the Reebok 2011 Games. Now, just before the break, you were going to tell me about what kind of things you were doing, because I think when anyone hears, okay, we're going to go on an exercise program, a weight loss program. Oh, boring. I'm going to be, I'm not going to eat what I enjoy eating. I'm going to eat less of what I eat. And on top of that, I'm now going to have to go and get up every morning and put myself through pain. Boy, that sounds like fun.
Well, to some people, that is fun. There's to address the nutritional aspect of, cutting out this and that, within CrossFit, many of us subscribe to what we call the paleo diet, the Paleolithic diet, which is basically the caveman diet. So you say, okay, well, what did caveman eat? I'm going to eat that. And obviously, there have been a few evolutions of the food produce that we're privy to. But basically, it means plants and animals. And hey, there's a whole lot of plants out there. There's a whole lot of animals out there. So chances are you'll find something there that you enjoy.
What about vegetarians? And that's one of the challenges that I found when I started doing this before, is getting enough protein.
Are you a vegetarian?
Yeah, totally. I mean, eggs and dairy, but...
Okay.
I'm not using it as an excuse. I'm just saying it's one of the challenges that I really had a hard time dealing with.
Well, definitely
getting enough protein.
That's the key. I mean, to really flourish as a human animal, you need protein. And in my opinion, the best source is animal protein. So it's tough when you cut that out. And great, you're keeping eggs and dairy, that's a great source of animal protein. So I'd say that as long as you just keep getting those eggs and dairy in, as well as all the veggies that you're eating, that's pretty good. It's just a matter of getting enough.
How easy is it? How long, I guess, do you have to stay at this before you're kind of committed to it, do you think? I mean, is it like, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 6 months?
It's tough to say.
What gets you on that road?
Yeah, there's sort of I guess you could say a hook. And the hook kind of, sets into different people at different times for different reasons. So for some people, they're hooked after a week because of the punishment they're feeling, right? You know, some people are gluttons for punishment. They say, "Oh man, this is really kicking my butt," and you know, intuitively in the back of their mind, they're making the connection that this is kicking my butt, so I'm gonna eventually adapt, and when it doesn't kick my butt anymore, I'm gonna be pretty darn fit. For other people, it's the community aspect. So after a couple weeks, they say, "Man, this gym is full of great people. You know, we got everyone from our housewives to our computer programmers working out right next to our, you know, firefighters and our Navy guys. There's a wide age range. You know, I'm one of the younger guys in the gym, around 22. We have people all the way up to in their 60s, and perhaps even.
And
in
I guess
70s.
the other fact is the intimidation. I used to go to a gym in town a number of years ago, and I didn't like it because one thing, I mean, there were individuals there. There's a real crass term that they use, which I'm not going to use on the air, but they were really bulked up and, you know, cock of the walk. It's intimidating. It's intimidating. You're there, you know, they use the gear when they want on it, and if you're on the gear, they're standing there kind of rolling their eyes, tapping their feet, you know. So you kind of think, I'm not wanted. This isn't my kind of place to go.
Yeah, there's I call that peacocking, right? Where you got guys who are walking around with their feathers puffed out.
Oh yeah.
And you know, you get that wherever you go, especially in a you call this I guess a bit of a university town. There's a lot of young guys sort of out to show the world their boss, but it's tough. And to be a little bit politically incorrect, you know, when you're in a typical rec center situation, you got, you know, Granny on the Stairmaster, and then you got the meathead in the corner, you know, doing his thing, and it's tough to feel comfortable, you know, working hard and exposing yourself, because when you do go through a CrossFit workout, that is a form of exposing yourself, right? When you push it to near the limit and you're sweating and panting and groaning and falling all over the place, it's tough to do that in a public environment where, you know, perhaps some of the movements you're doing or some of the effort you're exerting to actually improve yourself is maybe frowned upon, instead of just doing the same old routine.
And you know, I know it affects my life. I mean, for instance, I don't like wearing T-shirts when I'm out. I mean, I seldom do that, and I don't wear shorts in public. I mean, that's just a thing that I, you know.
Sure.
So it does affect. Let's go to the phones. 250-386-1161. Jay, good morning.
Hey, how's it going today?
Good.
I was just going to comment on for the vegetarian having a problem with the protein. Actually, algae provides the most protein over anything. It has 80% of consumption through your body and your muscles, where meat protein only has about 20% of the protein that gets digested. And there's also another amazing product. I think it was a triathlete who put it out, but it's called Vega.
I use that.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So you know all about that stuff. I just thought I'd point that out. So
Thank you.
People don't feel discouraged by not eating meat. There's lots of stuff you can eat, actually.
I appreciate that. That's very helpful. Thank you. Thanks very much.
Yeah, and I mean that's a great tip. The only issue for me, again, I'm not a nutritionist and nutritional expert, but the issue with getting your protein from a plant source, say like algae, is that potentially there's some issues with the amino acid profile you're getting, and that can be easily overcome by combining your foods the proper way as a vegetarian. But that's the only thing people have to worry about.
And also, we always get the standard line, and it's very true. Please consult your doctor, your medical professional before entering any exercise program.
Here's one.
Very, very, very important.
Ask your doctor if getting off your ass is right for you.
Okay. If you can get an appointment.
Exactly.
If you can get an appointment, that's it. Okay, so let's... so if I challenge my lovely producer here to a month, what do you think we can achieve in a month?
That depends on what your goals are.
And how many days we got to do this? And how much television and gaming do we have to each give up? Of course, like I'm not doing no gaming.
Of course.
How much?
Well, you'd probably have to give up at least, or even at most, I'd say 3 to 4 hours per week. We usually recommend that, again, depending on what you're doing outside the gym, because we encourage people to regularly learn and play new sports outside the gym. But if, as it is, CrossFit is sort of all you're doing, we'd usually recommend you get in about 3 times a week. That's sort of the standard prescription. And after about a month...
How long?
The standard class is an hour long.
An hour, 3 hours a week?
Sure. Plus or
3
minus,
hours.
travel to the gym, whatever.
But
it's not a big time commitment. I mean, I'm not a mathematician. How many hours do you have in a week? 24 times 7. You're sleeping for some of that, but there's a lot of time if you make it a priority.
Yeah. Could you do that?
Probably.
Probably. Would you? I'm just twisting your arm.
I know you are.
The question is not,
let's
have
do this,
not
Steve.
can.
Have
the
a
question is
competition.
will.
See, will you do it?
Let's do
it.
this.
Okay, we'll do a month, right?
We'll do it.
We'll start September 1.
Sure.
And then you and I will do it, and I'm
get you guys set up.
I'm going to task Lucas to make sure that we do a competition. See who wins.
All right.
We'll get you set up.
And the winner buys the other guy donut or something.
Sure.
A protein shake, maybe. Yeah.
Right. Protein shake. Lucas, again, they can find you at CrossFitZone.ca. Thanks
right.
very much. I really appreciate you coming in today. It's
Thanks for having me.
been very interesting, and hopefully, if people want to get in touch with you, they just can reach you at.
Sure. Lucas, Lucas, at CrossFitZone.ca. Check out our website. There's phone numbers and emails on there. But again, like we said earlier, imagine where you'd be right now if you'd started a year ago. So
I want to just do one
out.
very quick, one more call. John, go ahead for Lucas just before we go.
Hey, I just was thinking of the gym stuff that I had done. I don't do it much now, quite a bit of sports, but it really helps whatever sport you get into, badminton or boxing, whatever.
Right
you can get the ideas of how to strengthen that or how to help your body, what's your weakness. You get that knowledge level from the gyms that can help you work on stuff you need to work on.
Definitely.
Thanks very much, John. Appreciate your call this morning. And Lucas, thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.